Love is simply one word. It's unspoken. The foundation of life. What is this all about? There is no greater narcotic on this planet. You can line them all up and it won't come close to the dopamine hit that you get from love. Because love don't even have to touch you to make you feel some kind of way special. Welcome back to the Art of Love with DR.O, and I'm yours truly, DR.O. To all my love angels out there in Love Land, appreciate all the work you're putting in to bring more people into this beautiful family of love. You know, love is the truth, and the truth is love. Remember that. Love is the truth, and truth is love. If you're lying to somebody that you say you love, maybe it's not love. How is it that people stay together for 40 years, 45 years? I know my parents stayed together over 45 years. I have some clients that's been married for, let me see here, how many years was Mr. Glenn married? I believe it was like 65 years. 65 years. And what it is that if you got to work to keep it together, maybe you didn't take the time to court to get to know the person you're involved with, that you're dealing with, that you're loving. Because when you do your homework, it makes it a lot easier. It's the days are filled with the pleasures of just the presence of being with someone. I've always said this: if they reaching for your pockets, it's not love. Love only reaches for your heart and your presence. See? If they reaching for your pockets, it's not love. Love only reaches for your heart. I'm going to say this one more time because some of y'all got some stuff in y'all ear. Y'all can't hear that. If they reach for your pockets, it's not love. Love only reaches for your heart. And it's only one word. It's unspoken. So remember that. If you have someone in your life, are they showing you more than they telling you? If you have someone in your life, are they being honest with you? These are the pillars that hold up the foundation of love. It's honesty, the unspokenness of love, someone just showing you. So it's such a beautiful thing to be in love. The music sounds different. The birds, life. There is no narcotic on this planet that can come close to the joy that it gives you when it's right. So, nor is there any narcotic that can hurt you more than love if it's not right. So, take your time and get it right. And remember, there's nothing wrong with an appetizer wanting to move out the way so you can receive the main course that this universe has for you. And it all starts with you just loving you. All my love angels out there in Love Land, you're talking about it, you're asking for it, you're requesting it. Without further ado, hey, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We have some beautiful guests this week on Let's Talk About It. Everybody's talking about it. They're requesting it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Today we have three special guests, three queens. I've always told you, the greatest manifestation of life to ever come to exist on this planet is our queens. That would be our ladies. And we have three special ladies today. Ladies, if you don't mind letting the world know who you are, our three queens.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us, Art.
Of course.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Dope. I'm a blues singer, so a little trap, little blues, but I'm here to spread love and hopefully lead by example. So thanks for tuning in.
My name is Kayla, aka Jess Mack. I do hair as well, and I'm looking to see what the interest has for me.
Thank you for having me as well. What's up, everybody? My name is Chrissy Kamikaze. I'm straight out of Jersey. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, dancer as well. And I'm loving this vibe right now. You giving me something to feel. Let's do this.
Yes, yes.
Energy.
You know, there's no limitations in life except those that we put upon ourselves. You know, often enough we stress about the molehills in front of us, but we need to realize the mountains that this universe that God has already brought us over, and then the molehill won't seem so big at all.
Right.
I mean, you think about when you was in elementary school, the stress that was there. You forgot about it when you went to junior high. And then the stress of junior high, you forgot about that when you went to high school.
Right.
And then college. So whatever we're dealing with today, tomorrow is going to be a better day for us.
Amen.
Because the only limitations in life are those that we set for ourselves.
Yes.
And eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I want to talk to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shining.
Tell me a little something about yourself, because I just love your vibe. I love your energy.
Okay. I am a Gemini. Don't run, but you know,
Mhm.
people don't really run for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I am. I guess I'm more of a people person, so I like interacting with people. I'm like more of the friendly side of the friend. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Keep the drama at a normal, pace. You know, I'm just like that person. So it's just like I know every time I go somewhere, I'm like really good vibes. So that's why I try to, bring people together, like connect them and stuff like that. So it's just like,
How long have you ladies known each other?
like 15 years. 20
Yeah,
years.
this is my best friend.
Yeah. They're best friends.
For a while.
And I met Kayla through another best friend, Renelle, years ago. Right before the pandemic, she moved out here. And she only knew me through Renelle. And I was like, okay, fine. That's your best friend. I like Renelle, so we good. And she came out here and we were just lit. We just lit all the time. And then she went back home and now she's visiting and she's still connecting people. And I really want her to come back. So I'm happy.
As you should, because, people will come and go out of your life, but the circle that you create to navigate through this life, that's everything. And you ultimately can count it on less than 5.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, that's how solid it gets.
I think that's where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
Just having a couple of friends now. So.
I'm feeling the vibe in the world that there's a lot of people out there that's ready for love of themselves.
Yes.
So often we get lost in giving love to everyone else, but we forget about that person in the mirror
That's true.
that knows everything about us.
Right.
Our greatest accomplishments, our failures, the times that we were in the shower crying and we didn't want nobody to know. So who better to be honest with than that person?
Absolutely.
Kamikaze, tell the world who you are.
Yes. What's up? Honestly, I'm a free spirit. Like, that's why I love all the art that I do: dancing, singing, rapping, writing, poetry, anything. I'm a very, very free spirit. And speaking of the self-love, I'm actually on that journey myself as well. I've been through a lot of things in my life. I'm straight out the gutter. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So me being here today, me being alive, me being able to wake up in the morning and see a brand new day, I feel like that's a blessing for me. But I also feel like I've been focused on what everybody else needs or what everybody else is doing. So for the last couple months, I've actually been on my own little journey for self-love myself, because I feel like we all really don't know what love truly is. We just know what it is brought out to be in front of us.
Right.
Growing up, when we see our parents go through, our friends, our family, watching the television, seeing all the drama all over the news, and the world has painted a picture of love, and I don't think it's real. So I feel like that's the journey that I'm on right now.
I'm going to ask each one of you ladies, if you can simplify that word, if you can use just the simplicity of one word or 2 or 3, what would be your definition of love?
Energy.
And yours?
Communication.
I would say light.
Wow. See, that's your soul talking, because we are bundles of light, of energy. that came to rest inside of this shell that we call a body, but it isn't who we are.
Yeah.
You see, if you lost your leg, the soul of you would tell you to get a prosthetic limb. Hence, the soul controls the body doesn't control the soul. We've been lied to about life and death too. You can't kill energy.
Absolutely.
That energy that resides inside of you resided many moons inside your parents' parents' parent, as it came to rest inside of you, as it shall rest in your everlasting life inside your children's children. See?
That's right.
We've been lied to.
Of course,
And
of
we
course.
here to tell the truth today.
Absolutely.
Tell the world.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Dope. I'm really just here to spread love and light and to really guide, my brothers and sisters on, a journey from experience. I've been through so much, but I've always had like a mentor. I've always had like an angel, So I always try to be that angel, be that mentor. And it's crazy, Art, because I've been doing that, walking in as my light working purpose, but I've been taken advantage of. I've been through all this stuff, and it makes you step back and you're like, dang, I have great intentions.
So let me give you ladies right there what she said, taking advantage of. Let me just walk you into the light of yourself. On this planet, and we can travel to many, but on this one, no human being out of 8 billion is capable of being greater than you just being you.
Yeah.
There's only one you. Do you know as vast as this universe is, it couldn't exist without you in it? It would collapse.
That's right.
It would create not a mini nova, a supernova, a meganova. It'd just collapse on itself. So the importance of you existing is real.
Yeah.
See?
Absolutely.
And out of 8 billion, there's only one you. And the only human being that has a chance of being greater than you being yourself would be the creation of yourself. That being your child if they choose. So other than that, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Now that we've acquired this knowledge of yourself, from this day forward, no one could ever lie to you.
Yeah.
No one ever lied to you. They can only lie to themselves and cheat on themselves to lose you.
That part.
There's only one you.
Yeah.
But what are the trials and tribulations in life for?
Yeah.
Why did I go through what I went through?
Absolutely.
What was that about? But you have to remember, they touched the flesh. They didn't touch the soul. And how you let that go is you got to forgive.
Absolutely.
There was a time when I thought that my anger towards my father was important. Enough that I said to myself, I won't even go to his funeral. I thought that. And I've told your love angels out there, all my love angels, I told you guys that the only thing your parents ever owed you in life, your mother, was carrying you 9 months. Okay? And the only thing your father ever owed you was busting a nut. I don't mean to be so vulgar, but I've got to keep it real.
You're right.
Okay? That's the only thing they owed you
Yeah.
in life. Anything beyond that is wishful thinking.
Absolutely.
And if you got it, then so be it. And they'll show you either what to do or what not to do. But you can't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
You can't repeat them because
Yeah.
you are the better everlasting life of them.
Absolutely.
See? And I had a lady on the show, and she was like, so what was my struggle for? And I could tell that, the eyes are the gateway to the soul. They're the gateway to the soul. And I can tell that there was some serious trauma that's happened in her life. And she couldn't understand what was it all about. But once you understand that this is just the flesh, you didn't touch the soul in me, and I'm going to forgive you to give it back to you. She was able to understand that I said, you can't mentor or counsel some woman that's been through rape if you ain't been through it yourself.
Right.
I don't want to hear your mouth. The cold showers ain't going to do nothing for me. See? That's just a book. See, you have psychiatrists that get into books and think that they're helping someone. But the help comes from your trials and tribulations of life to have the experience to know who you're talking to. And that's what this is for, is that you've been through what you've been through in your life, and you're at a point now in your life that it's time for me to love me. It really is. As a matter of fact, I want this Valentine's Day to be special, to be a little different. And how so is that for those that have found their significant other and they're happy with them, kudos, I'm happy for you. But there's a lot of love angels out there that haven't found that just yet, and I tell you, you have to get the appetizers off the table to receive the main course.
That's true.
Okay? So there's a main course coming. But if you holding on to a funky appetizer, the table's not clear for you to receive that.
Right. Exactly.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Welcome back to the Art of Love with Dr. O, and I'm yours truly, Dr. O. To all my love angels out there, I really appreciate you putting in all that work, spreading the love, the good news. Today, I'm going to give you some tools to help you spread the love. And ultimately, I always tell you the foundation of understanding that is truly from the understanding of love that you give to yourself. Um, you have several words that people use in relationship: passion, intimacy, commitment. How many people really hold true to these words? The commitment that people make when you get married, those vows are so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I mean, you made it to the altar and you're saying, I chose you to spend the rest of my life with. Out of all the 8 billion people on this planet, it's you that I desire more than anyone else. And it's for better or for worse. What is better? When times are good and life is giving us all the fruits of our labors, it's easy to sit in a convertible Bentley and wave out the window to your friends when life is good. That's the better. But I think that a lot of people miss the worse. If I lose it all and I don't have anything but you, are you willing to lay next to me underneath that park bench and share that newspaper to keep warm? See, these are the commitments that when you get married, these sacred vows, these oaths that we give to each other, these are the things that we're supposed to hold until death do us part. Statistically speaking, how many marriages make it until death do us part? There was a time, late 50s, 60s, where society promoted family values, you know, and minimum wage was set that a man could go to work. The wife could stay home with the kids because Lord knows, everybody knows that daycare is a house note now. You didn't have to worry about that because mama was able to stay home with the kids. They even made cartoons about it, wait until your father get home. But all that's gone now. Minimum wage is 15,000 if you're lucky to get the hours, and a house is over 700,000. So one person can't do it. Two will argue, try to figure it out. It dang near takes 3 incomes to make it nowadays. But the love that you seek to find and hope to find in someone else, one first must give that to thyself. You can never find it in someone else if you don't understand what it means to find it within yourself. Another man's truth or a woman's truth may not be yours. The greatest truth that one can give oneself is the knowledge and wisdom of understanding of the experiences that the individual has been through so that you can give that to yourself. You ever seen couples that everything seems so perfect and then you just get blindsided? What? They're getting a divorce? You got to be kidding me. How is it that they're getting divorced? They had the perfect family. And then you see some people like my parents, they uh they were sparring partners, man. They threw every day. They fought every day, man. And at the end of the day, they made up at night, and I guess that was their energy, and it was something that doesn't exist now, and that is until death did them part. It's really not death. We'll talk about that another time. It's actually a transition of life. See, but we'll talk about that another time. Scientifically, you can't kill energy, but until my parents went through the transition of life, they stayed together. Statistically speaking, the numbers are not good when it comes to couples staying together to that commitment of death actually doing us until we part with each other's. But if we looked at it from a spiritual aspect of things, a soulful aspect, and that is we're just bundles of energy that came to rest inside of a body that we call a shell. And scientifically proven you can't kill energy. So even in passing, the transition, some say they have been here before. You know, you look at some people, some kids, you got an old soul. You know, you run into somebody that you've never met, but it seemed like you've known them your entire life. You know, kudos to the people out there that actually found that special someone. Now, I don't mean to break anybody's heart when I say what I'm getting ready to say, but I always go to the nano level of things to understanding. And that is when it comes to soulmates, this is just me, and everybody else has their own opinion. But when it comes to soulmates, you truly only get one. You truly only get one soulmate on this planet. Now, there are many other planets out there in the world, but we're going to stay focused on this planet. On this planet, you get one. And the reason why I say that is because you only get one soul to grow inside of, to love you that way. And that would be your mom if you had a good one. If you had a good one, you would know that nothing would even come close beyond the love that she's given you as far as its soulmate goes. That's wishful thinking. And you hope that it will last a lifetime. But how often can you cross that bridge with someone? And like I said earlier before, statistically speaking, it's not favorable. And it's because I believe, like I said earlier, 50s and 60s society was geared towards keeping the family together. And now all that motivation just really isn't there. It really isn't there. And you can't let someone else's truths be yours. You have to find your own truth. And what's going on in your neighbor's house or your friend's house, don't bring that home and put it on the scale of judgment for your relationship. Because most of the knowledge that you acquire about other people's relationship is Instagram knowledge. You know, it's Facebook knowledge. Isn't it interesting how Facebook and Instagram, you always see people shining? Maybe we ought to come out with a site where it's just pure truth. You know, people can post when they're getting evicted. They can show pictures of and videos of their car being towed down the street. Because how much truth are you really getting on Instagram and Facebook and all these social media outlets, you know? And so you can't allow those truths that belong to other people to be yours. You have to be honest with yourself because a lot of stuff that you see on social media, if you bring that home and put it on the scale of a judgment for your relationship, it might ruin your relationship. You know, the only two people in that room, you and your significant other. And as long as you're honest with yourself and your significant other is honest with themselves, then you guys can share truth with each other. You know, if you listen to what your significant other is saying, you got to listen to the whispers. You got to try and listen to them talking to themselves. You know, when you go to the store, pay attention to what's catching their eye. Pay attention to them talking to themselves. If your husband goes to the store and he's always walking past his fishing pole and it's always catching his eye, and you know he doesn't say anything, but because you know him, you know he'll love to have it. Well, if you want to make the relationship better, go ahead and get it for him. You know, if there's a purse or something, some shoes, some heels, or anything that your wife will like, you know, you see her walking by it, how she lights up like a Christmas tree. You hear her talking to herself, or you might even overhear her talking to her girlfriends about it. Well, go ahead and start putting money in a jar, and then eventually surprise her with it. You know, it's the small things that make or break a relationship. And then ultimately, you have to say to yourself, am I dialed into the right frequency with my wife, with my husband? Did I choose right? Did I choose right? Well, what do you mean by this, Dr. O? What do you mean did I choose right? Well, you know, you kind of want to choose high, because whatever you take to that altar, it might drop a little bit. And as long as you got it up high, that drop ain't going to hurt you or surprise you too much. You know, but as far as the frequencies, what is DR.O's 3 love frequencies? Well, there's a bottom frequency, and that's the negativism, and then there's a mid frequency, and then there's a high frequency. Well, what do you mean by a bottom frequency? Well, we are the better examples of our parents' everlasting life. As we get older, we realize our parents are not perfect, but they were perfect enough to get us to the point to realize that. And sometimes people have relationships where it's okay for them just to argue every day, and they make up at night, and that's their relationship. You know, they might dwell in a negativism, and that would be a lower vibration, a lower frequency. And you have to ask yourself, what am I repeating that my parents did that's not truly of a higher frequency of positivity? So once you've said that to yourself, then you can ask yourself, what is my frequency? Am I always negative? Am I always complaining? Am I always looking at things in a negative light? Am I saying that the cup is half empty instead of saying that it's half full? You know, when of course, it starts with ourselves looking in the mirror. Then we can look at someone else. And if they're doing the same thing, then it's easy for both of you guys to agree. And then what's the mid frequency that someone has? Well, the mid frequency is that person on the fence? Do they know that which they came, their parents, even though they were negative, they still dwell in the negative, but they reach for the positive? That's someone that's in a mid frequency. That's someone that knows better, but they only doing it part-time. They're not doing it full-time. They're on the fence, because some of that is pleasure. Some people get a dopamine hit from being in the negativism, from dwelling in the negativism. And you have to say to yourself, okay, if I'm just a complete negative, if I deal with a lower vibration of negativism, then me dealing with someone in the mid vibration, that might cause issues for me. And what is the higher frequency? Well, the higher frequency is when a person can look at their parents, they can look at their environment, they can look at the situation from where they came from, and they say, I'm absolutely going to try my best to make it better. You know, everything that they do over 90% of the time is to make it better. because they know that they can see where the negativism is coming from, and they don't even allow it to fester up and exist in themselves or in their relationships. So when you meet someone, or if you're in a relationship with someone, you have to ask yourself, what is the vibration? What is the frequency? And if it is a lower vibration, then both of you guys can talk about it and say, can we try to bring it to a mid, or is it possible for us to get to a higher frequency of understanding of love? Because if you do that, your relationship would be at the pinnacle of what it could be. Because when you dwell in the negativism, in the lower frequency, in the mid frequencies, you allow bits above the devil, Lucifer, Satan to just come into your relationship and play games. And if you have time for that, then by all means, indulge and enjoy yourself. But for most of you guys, if you're looking to get the most out of your relationship, you got to be conscious of the frequencies that you're dwelling in, the vibrations that you're giving off. And you have to ask yourself, does my husband always complain? Does my wife always complain? Can I actually have a conversation and bring this to his or her attention without them chewing my head off? Because if you just simply bring something to someone's attention like this and they chew your head off, then you know what the frequency is. And then you have to ask yourself some questions. And that is, if we just can't even talk about what exists amongst us and try to make it better, then is this something that I'm willing to live in or live without? These are the questions that we have to ask. And when you figure that out, it will make being with your significant other a lot easier, because it comes with an understanding. Wow, I don't even have to get upset about him being that way or her being that way, because I understand her vibration. I understand her frequency. I no longer have to expect this frequency to be something that it's not. And look at the simplicity of that you can actually embrace and love the person for who they really are and not expect them to be something that they're not, because expectations only hurt the person with the expectations. The other person don't even know that it even exists. They don't even see what they're doing. So remember, all that starts with you loving yourself. And when you love yourself, if you're in a relationship where you can have that conversation for someone else to love themselves, then you guys can love each other. And ultimately, you can make a relationship better because you guys actually dialed into the frequencies and the vibrations of who you really are.